my page or on your screen somewhere, you tap that, it follows whomever it is you're viewing. In this case, you'd be following me.
The T-Monster.
That's me, the T-Monster.
So what I'm looking at from
Yeah.
the Twitch, so I went to the Twitch app and
Right.
I typed in the T-Monster.
Yeah.
And you come up with, your channel comes up.
You should.
With 257 followers or viewers or whatever.
Views.
Followers.
Probably like,
Sorry, 260 followers, okay. So then I click subscribe and the options that come up are paid subscription. or
no,
more
that's
sub-options.
to subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Following is just, there should be a little heart icon.
is.
And
Yeah.
tap that and you follow me.
I thought that was.
That's fine, but how do but to see the video that you're doing
You
right
should
now-
see it either
Should be right
way.
there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It should be like.
And if you don't see it, then either A, this phone is lying to me, 'cause it says I'm live, or B, there's another T-Monster and you're probably following a
Yeah.
porn channel. So
Award-winning science fiction. and-
that's me.
That's him.
That's me.
That'd be T.
If it starts off with award-winning, that's
Award-winning,
me.
right, of course. And you'll take it, either way, right there.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Award-winning porn author.
it is not showing what you're doing right now on my phone.
Okay,
So,
then that must
well,
be a Twitch thing. So then,
it might be on a little bit of a delay. Mine is currently streaming on YouTube Live.
Okay.
My YouTube channel is Christiana Ellis. Actually, I think the URL might be Christiana Ellis 1. But if you search Christiana Ellis, it's gonna, I think, come up.
And you
There's
can
not a
spell
whole
it,
lot
it's
of.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
gonna use the spelling on your name.
Yeah, that works. So Christiana Ellis, and so it should be live right now. And it actually says that I've got 2 viewers watching live right now. So
Fantastic.
that's what it says.
So let me see.
Well, currently watching, like right.
Do the thumbs up. There you go, and I just saw that.
All right.
See, what's odd is that it says on mine that I am live. It says that I am streaming, but it's saying I'm hosting the Bungie, which he's probably doing like Destiny Rage, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, look! I just actually one of my fans from Twitter, Miranda McKenna, just posted a little live comment.
Oh, there you go.
Hello from Poland.
All right, see, I got someone I can't see it.
You got somebody already from Poland.
From
Wow.
Poland.
Well, yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
Miranda's been following me for a while. She's
So this is awesome. This is
great
an
fan.
example of us doing it. Are you catching it?
I'm downloading the app. I'm really new at this.
Oh,
By the
okay.
way,
Well, that's okay. So
Anyway, let's go.
let's all get started.
Yeah.
usually it's not this organized.
Right. It's much worse mostly.
Oh yeah.
How
Do
many?
you guys own Twitch or something?
No.
God. God. If we own Twitch, we wouldn't be here.
No.
Oh, I got
There would
another
be-
say hi.
I wouldn't be able to see half of the people in the audience if we were
Right,
Twitch.
right.
Oh, but yeah. So for those at home. So yeah, the Twitch and you clip it, Balticon panel.
Beautiful weather out.
How do you say hi on the chat? Oh, I see.
The
It's
chat.
here.
There, yeah.
Let's get started.
Yeah, go for it. Go for
Okay.
it. Go for it, Christian.
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. And for YouTube, I post. I actually don't YouTube live that often. I usually post those. But I have a daily video vlog called 5 More Minutes that posts. Guess what? Daily. And it's the whole premise of it is that I do it first thing in the morning, literally before anything else. So my hair's all over the place and wearing my glasses and everything. So, and I'm half asleep most of the time. But I also stream on Twitch. It's occasionally video games, but primarily I am running 2 Dungeons and Dragons campaigns that stream live on Twitch Wednesdays and Saturdays when we can get all our players together. And then those post to YouTube, and I have audio podcast versions as well. So my Twitch stream is Christiana Ellis. So if you know my name and Google it, you can find everything else.
All right.
And I'm T. Morris, and I'm going to try this streaming one more time. It says according. Now, here's the thing. The first disclaimer. The Twitch app is a little dicey.
It's a little twitchy.
It's a little twitchy.
Yeah.
It's a little twitchy. But yeah, I'm still. It is free. The Twitch app is free, and I'm still learning the ins and outs of how it all works. So we'll see how this experiment goes. I've been on Twitch since September 8th, and I know this for a fact. September 8th, 2017, because that was when Destiny 2 dropped. And when Destiny 2 dropped, before then I was just a casual Twitch streamer. I would go on ahead and I would just occasionally Twitch when I felt like it. But then I said, you know what? When Destiny 2 drops, I want to try being a daily Twitch streamer. And I started following a very rigid schedule, and that schedule has since then changed dramatically because I changed day jobs. The other thing I should probably announce on this, because one person in the room knows this, you're also looking at the future author of Twitch for Dummies.
Nice.
From Wiley
Also went through.
Publishing.
It's your
That's what I'm working on right now.
Exclusive.
Trademark permission for the Dummies word though?
Do what?
You have your trademark permission?
No, they're hiring me. The For Dummies people are hiring me, and they're hiring me because I'm also one of the editors of podcast. I'm sorry, one of the authors of Podcasting for Dummies.
He's legit, despite
I'm
all
truly
appearances.
legit, and I literally wrote the book.
On being a
And
dummy.
here we go. So I've exited host mode, so it's working now.
Oh,
So it's
fantastic.
working now.
All right, good.
So everybody, so that's what I'm bringing to the table is the perspective on Twitch. Although I can say we've been. At least I've been, I can't say about these two, but I have been live streaming stuff since the days of Periscope.
Yeah.
So that's going back.
What does that mean?
Periscope was basically what started this, which was being able to stream from your phone and all that. It was something that was started up by Twitter, and is still in use, but it's not as rampant as it once was. And we're going to talk about some of the other streaming services that are out there. And finally,
All right, so I'm Peter Bryant. I run a show called The Mythwits. It's a weekly live web series. Been doing it for 5 years. We're in the middle of season 5 right now. We started with YouTube Live when YouTube Live was in its infancy. I think it was within months, because I had never even heard of YouTube Live. And we were just going to do like a YouTube channel. I forget how we were going to do this. I forget we were like, we wanted to go live, and I didn't even know YouTube Live was a thing. I think we were going to go Twitch or something. Oh no, Justin TV. We started
Justin
out,
TV.
That's right.
Wow.
I think our first cast was on Justin TV. I think our very
Wow.
first one. And then we found out about YouTube Live, and we switched over to that immediately because it had just started up.
Right.
We did YouTube Live for 3 years. Then we moved over to Twitch. I tried Twitch. Did not have good success for Twitch for a year. That's just, it really depends on a million things. And then we moved over to Facebook Live starting January of this year, and it has been fantastic for us.
And just so you know, I just got a live comment from the air of a friend of mine from my day job who is currently following me on Twitch. He is in the air right now going to a conference out west
Nice.
in Oakland, and he just pinged me. I freaking love this stuff, guys.
He's 30,000 feet in the air right now.
Exactly. And he's watching me.
Right.
Oh, great.
Wow,
So,
you know what? You know what it is, T? He's trapped in a small metal box.
Yeah.
He doesn't have very many options.
Anyway,
you don't understand. I'm not stuck in here with you.
you're stuck in here with me. Okay.
I
right.
got started with a couple of shows that were originally just podcasts, but then we discovered that Google Hangouts had a Hangouts on Air function that is more or less defunct now. It's because it's been integrated with YouTube Live, and they helpfully removed a bunch of functionality, and that was really appreciated. But
No notice.
yeah, but it is still where I do talking about Survivor live, although we don't get a lot of live viewers on that because our schedule is so irregular. Oh, no, Survivor, the TV show.
Okay.
My podcast is talking about Survivor, and we do it live.
Right.
While the show is on, or
No. We're just recapping the show and talking about it. But the part of the difficulty with that particular one is that my co-host for that show, his schedule is very different from mine, and we very rarely can record at the same time one week to the next, which makes it hard for a live show to attract an audience.
Okay.
But also, when Game of Thrones is on, I'm part of a show called Beyond the Wall, where it's essentially the same thing. We're talking about the latest episode, but we do it live. We have, an active chat discussing and listening, and we respond to the comments as we go live, that sort
And
of
this is
thing.
before that old Chris Hardwick started all this, right?
So
He got the idea from us, really.
I believe it.
I met him at DragonCon once, and it's like,
That
I
was
could
it.
tell.
There you go. There you go. So, so you're hearing about all the different stuff that we do. One of the things that I do with Twitch is actually, this is the first IRL feed I've ever done. And IRL in real life, in real life feed. And I had a whopping, 30 seconds to prepare for it?
Yeah.
And this is honestly how you would, if I had a little more planning, a little more prepping, this is how a stream would normally begin. Hi, everybody. How you doing, chat? You're gaming with the T-Monster, and I am here live at Balticon. And we're doing a panel on Twitch, on Facebook Live, on different ways of streaming, and that would be how I would start my feed. Only my feed would be I'm playing Destiny, and Twitch is known primarily for streaming of video games. Yeah, it used to be exclusive, an exclusive thing, and with
So what else does it do besides video games?
that's a very good question. So it started off that way, and usually it was one person doing one video game. And some people still do that, but I'm what some people would call a variety streamer, because I stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, and then I stream Saturday mornings. But Thursdays I have called Thriller Thursdays, and on Thriller Thursdays I find an action adventure game or a suspense game. There are people in my feed who are already looking forward to this Halloween, because on my whatever Thursday falls closest to Halloween, I'm going to play Alien Isolation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And people want to hear me scream like a little girl, which they probably will on that stream. Anyway, but that's because I play Destiny, but on Thursdays I play something entirely different.
Right.
And then just Friday, right before this event, Friday I did Detroit Become Human. I just spent an entire night.
Oh, yikes.
I spent an entire night playing Detroit Become Human, and it was a wonderful experience. And I streamed that. Along with streaming of video games, some people do what are called IRL streams, which this would qualify. Then there's some that just do creative streams. And I kid you not, there is one guy, I'll give him a shout out. It's the gaming author. That's his name, the gaming author. And he actually works on manuscripts in between games. So what happens is you have an inset camera where it's you playing the game or doing whatever the feed is demanding. Behind him is his what he sees on his screen, and in his case it's a word processor, and you'll see him edit stuff. And he'll sometimes say, "Hey chat, I'm having a tough time with this particular thing." He'll say a few words, and they'll say, "Did you try this? Did you try this? Did you try this?"
Feedback from the audience.
Exactly,
Yeah.
live feedback.
Oh, wow. It's like a collaboratively written book.
Exactly.
Right.
He's taking the credit for it, but
Right,
it's
of
still,
course he is, yeah.
but it's still that like peer audience on and then you've got cosplayers. Cosplayers love to show their costumes in progress. And then there's another Twitch streamer that I love to watch, and she's just a hoot. She calls herself She Snaps, and it's really funny because she said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to go shooting. I think I'm going to go shoot this afternoon." And a couple of people come in. "Oh, what are you shooting with? A Glock, AR-15? What are you shooting with?" "I'm shooting with a Canon." And she's shooting with a Canon or a Nikon or something like that.
Right.
And then she'll take whatever she shot, bring it back in studio, and then you walk with her through the process of editing the photograph.
Oh, my wife would probably like that. She's a
Yeah,
photographer.
yeah. So She Snaps. Artists use it, and now Twitch is actually starting up an audio channel, and it's live performances from indie bands. It's starting to gain traction, and that's the thing. Twitch is known for video games. But there's a lot more that you can do with it. Matter of fact, the guy that I wrote Podcasting for Dummies with, Chuck Tomasi, he actually started up an official ServiceNow, which is a tech company.
Right.
He started up an official channel just for ServiceNow, and it's a live IT help interaction thing. So that's what you'll find on Twitch.
I'll tell you. You also find live role-playing games. It's becoming really big.
Yeah.
It's becoming really
Yeah,
big.
that's what I do.
Yeah, so one of my buddies, Satine Phoenix, runs a thing called Maze Arcana, and she's also I think she works for Wizards now, and she's running a new thing called Inkwell, where she gets a bunch of gamers together. Hers is a super high production. She lives out in LA, and she knows actors and stuff, and she's done some acting, and so they have like a whole set, and they wear costumes. And it's all no, they've got. I've seen the behind-the-scenes pictures. They have like like movie cameras, like real movie cameras that they capture this stuff with, and lighting, and they do makeup beforehand, and it's a whole thing.
But they stream it all live?
They
Or-
stream-
Yeah.
When they do the show,
Yeah.
they stream it live. So the
Okay.
feed comes from the camera, goes into probably this. I think she uses the same software I do. If not, she uses one that's very similar to capture her stream and send it out. Do we want to get into the weeds a little bit? I mean, because we know what they do, I guess.
Well,
Or-
Christiana, you're
So-
you're
Oh,
running
sorry.
the boat.
Okay.
so-
Right, am I?
I
Am
thought you were.
I don't think I'm the moderator, am I?
Okay.
Gosh, if so, I am apologize. I've been asleep at the
Oh, shit,
wheel.
I'm the moderator.
You're the moderator.
Right, I can do this. I got this. So we will go into
Oh,
just as I planned.
Well done, Mr. Bones.
declare it so, moderator.
So there's other.
Okay, hang on a minute.
Okay.
You just captured exactly what the magic is of streaming video live. When things go wrong, or when you have that moment of like, you mean to tell me that's what's been I'll give you a perfect example that rivals this. I'm playing through Tomb Raider, through the reboot of Tomb Raider, having a ball with it, but I'm afraid the game is glitchy. Because at random points, I'm switching my weapons, and at random points, the game pauses, and I'm like, and at one point, I just went, well, you can cuss because there's no regulations, but you do have to say, yes, this is a mature channel. But I just went, fuck, what is wrong with this game? And a buddy of mine in the UK, he goes by the name Big Marvinsky, he said, T, is your audio for the game on? Is your audio command on? And I went, I don't know, because when there are ways you stream video games. There's one way where you just play the video game, but there's another way where you interact with chat. You learn to get really good at multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out my audio command, where I say switch gun, pause game,
Right.
that was still on.
Oh,
So while I'm talking to people, suddenly I'll say, yeah, and I just had to stop, boom, game pause. What the fuck, game,
Yeah.
And then Big Marv said, turn off your
Right.
audio options. I turned them off, game never glitched for the
Right.
rest of the time.
Well,
I'm like,
it's like I
feel
need to
like-
switch to something, and like,
Yeah.
what do I gun?
Wait, why did I gun switch? No, I need a shotgun.
I mean, I think that's a good illustration that the variety of content that can be found across all the different channels on Twitch or other, in Twitch is what we're talking about mostly here. But for example, Maze Arcana, or some of the other juggernauts as far as the role play community, Critical Role.
Critical Role, yep.
Dice Camera Action is one where the DM is Chris Perkins, who's one of the Wizards of the Coast lead game designers. You can have the ones that are essentially professional productions. And then you also have all the way down to like, I just have my friends on a Google Hangout and I'm running it all off my computer in my apartment and nobody's getting paid for nothing.
Right.
And, but you have that whole range of content to be found there. Well,
Some people
Okay,
can.
okay, yeah. Now,
that's
That's
a
a whole
big
image.
question.
that's a whole.
let's save
let's
that.
not. We're saving that
We're
for
gonna
later.
table that for a
We're
little
saving
bit
that for later.
Yeah. All right. So, how we get this done. So right now, we're using our phones to do this. Of course, it's a great setup especially for economy and traveling. I can carry my little book bag, and I can set up something and stream live, and that's the beauty of it. You can also do.
He can do that. I had no idea this was happening, so I'm propping up my phone against a full water cup. And
I only started doing it because you guys.
I mean, we have over here. We call this the MacGyver section because we're give me a tampon, some chewing gum, and I can make this whole room blow up. But that's beside the point.
Right.
Anyway, you were saying.
But then you can also have like at home. I have a whole setup. So I have on my computer. I have software that captures video and streams it out, and I've got a whole thing going. So like you said, Google Hangouts. We actually do our show through Hangouts. So that's how we do our show. But then I have another monitor. I have a software that I use to capture the show. So it actually screen captures. So I tell the software, capture this section of the screen, put it here. Capture this section of the screen, put it here. And they're put on different layers, so I can turn things on and off. And I have overlays, like graphic overlays, and I have images that appear. So my show's got very high production value. I got music that plays, I got intros, outros, I got stingers, and they're all like at a hit of a button. I can switch between things like a TV channel. Yeah. And that's really complex stuff, because I also had to put a piece of software on another piece of software on my computer so I could capture sound, so I could have a soundboard, because you can't just stream the sound from your computer.
So this is the high-end version.
Yeah.
This is the high end. This is the version I'm aspiring to, and I'm hoping to get to that. However, the way I stream is very basic. I've got a PSI EYE, which is a camera plugged into my PS4. I then have the PS4 camera pointing at me, and then I do everything through the PS4. And PlayStation, now they just recently, and I got to find out how to do this, but PlayStation, just released an update that allows you to now stream Spotify through it.
Yeah.
So now you can stream Spotify, and then you can probably, I'm sure they've got things where it's like, okay, now you want to stream Spotify, you set the audio levels of your game versus Spotify, then you film yourself, and as you're capturing everything, you're sending it out.
You can stream the Spotify music?
They worked,
Yes.
They worked a deal.
They worked out a deal.
Now,
They worked out a deal.
here's where things can start to
Hold that
get
question.
messy, though, is what I tend to do with my D&D games is they're streamed live on Twitch, but then I export them to YouTube to maintain an archive.
Right.
But you couldn't have, like, if we were streaming Spotify music and then try to export it to YouTube, it would get the copyright.
Yeah,
Right?
copyright.
And so, depending on where you're wanting it to live, there can be different rules,
Right.
and so it can be fairly complicated.
Yeah.
But going back to why I'm bringing up the simple layout is because this is how easy, not just the PS4, but just any gaming console has made it to stream. I would say of all the different streamers that I follow on Twitch, 2 of them have said, I was just looking through my PlayStation, and I saw this thing called broadcast gameplay, and I was like, okay. They just randomly hit it, and suddenly they're streaming, and they had no idea what they were doing. Sometimes, and now they've got subscribers, and they've got tons of followers, and they're doing big time stuff, and they've been at it for a long time. But there are varying levels. Where Peter's at right now is a high level, and that's a great level to be at. And I that's the level I want to be at. Right now, I'm still at the learning to walk phase, in my opinion. I have a simple camera. I do it all through through the PlayStation, and my audio is all coming in through the game headset. So what I'm trying to polish up on is to make sure that I'm playing while interacting with chat. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, because you're trying to play a game,
Yeah.
and you got stuff going on. You're like, hold on, you know.
And that's the same thing with the earlier question about, well, what if I don't want to do a video game? Well, do you want to do creative? Yeah, you can do creative, but you still got to keep talking to your audience. There's only so much that people can watch you fiddle with something in Photoshop before you're like, okay, this person isn't talking to me. They're not answering my questions. I think I'm moving on to someone else.
Well, that's like our interview show. I mean, that's why we wanted to go live. We wanted to be able to do interviews where you could ask questions. So if I have a guest on that you're interested in, and you have access to that person, and we've grown a community where it's just so interactive, and people love to just watch us, and they talk with each other, like they banter with each other. There's so much stuff going on in that room that has nothing to do with with us. Like, we don't have to interact with it at all. They're making fun of each other. They're making fun of us. Sometimes they'll say something, and we'll bring it up on the show. We'll ask the guest questions. So every once in a while, the guest actually gets a question, which is odd to me. I'm like, I brought this person in who's an expert in this thing that you're watching, and you have no questions? Really? None of you? Sometimes, but sometimes we do get them. But you're right, it's hard. I have a hard time watching because I'm interviewing, and I'm trying to pay attention to what this person is saying, and I've got another conversation going on here.
And I wanted to ask Christiana about that because I know you also do so many levels.
Yeah.
And that's the Twitch thing where you're role
Right.
playing with Starla. And with,
Yeah, so
with,
the D&D streams that I do, the sort of the brand, to so to speak, is called So Many Levels. So I guess what was the specific question?
was that how do you, because what I've seen, because I've sat in on some of your streams, first off, they're fun as hell. Because when they start riffing on each other on something in the dungeon, I'll throw in a snarky comment, and then it just snowballs in their campaign. So I've wondered about that. About, do you find that difficult to stay focused on what's happening in the game?
Well, generally speaking, I will check the chat when there's a moment of me not talking. occasionally that, comes up. If there's a slow point, I'll go ahead and check. But one of the things that has helped is that the players generally have it up too. So it's kind of between all of us, we're kind of paying attention, and that way we can kind of make people feel included, but it's also helpful in case, we get trolls come through who want to make
Right,
trouble.
right.
And then,
What are trolls?
what are trolls?
Okay. Now,
Yeah, well,
trolls
so-
in D&D are these
Yeah.
large creatures that attack your party.
Yes, yes, you must burn them with fire so they don't regenerate.
The difference
But,
between trolls between trolls there and trolls in your stream is no, there's really not much of a difference. is
Well,
there?
what,
They can interact with you if they're trolls.
well, so basically, the way that the stream works is that obviously anyone who is deliberately seeking you out can follow your channel and find it there. But when you go live, you're also added to Twitch's list of channels that are live right now.
Right.
And you can tag your stream with, like, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, so people can look to say, where are some streams of people playing Dungeons and Dragons live right now? And so people can find the channel that way without having any idea who I am. And so sometimes there are people on the internet who look around and find places where they can make trouble, and then they get in the chat for the channel and they just start insulting people or saying bad words because they think it's funny or whatever. And there are tools to block those people, but sometimes it can be hard because people who are really invested in this stuff
Yeah.
get like 9 or 10 different screen IDs and they just relog in. But which is what I was actually going to say is Paulette actually is a regular viewer of one of our streams, and so I made her a moderator in the chat. So in case I'm invested in the game and I don't have time to pay attention right now to the chat, she's watching it just to make sure that she can also block someone if they're obviously only there to cause trouble.
So just from a practical standpoint, when they're blocked, like all their messages from the stream
Just-
disappear?
Yeah, it says message delete.
There are several,
Yeah.
there are several tools.
Yeah.
At the top level, you can time them out. for a
Okay.
period of
Mhm.
time. Usually what you do is you time them out, you tell them, please go away and think of some more
Right.
creative way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure, most trolls will disappear because that's 10
So
minutes.
just
too
move
long.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ban them, then, all their messages are deleted, B, they
Mhm.
cannot log back in under that account, and it's logged to Twitch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
That
they
they've been
do
banned
have
on
multiple
the-
accounts and you can catch them doing it, or you
Mhm.
catch the same guy coming back, Twitch will completely
Get rid of all the
get rid
accounts.
of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Get rid of everything.
And generally, I find it's one thing if someone is clearly there for that stream and they're just saying stuff that you're like, maybe cool it.
Right.
But there's also people who are obviously like there just
Yeah.
to say, hey, these people are live right now. I wonder if I can make them
Right.
blush by saying something awful.
You get the
Um,
69.
and at that point, you just want to say, okay, no, I don't want your message to appear in the chat transcript,
Right,
so
right, okay.
go.
You know what?
Do you guys, how prevalent is it? Like, do you guys?
It doesn't happen all the time, but
What happened to us?
I could see that because you guys can be terrifying.
Oh, yeah, right. It's like,
Yeah.
you want to take me on?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, little man,
Let's
come
roll.
on. Let's roll.
yeah.
Um,
So
Everybody has a different way of dealing with trolls, and obviously the bigger you become, the bigger you
Sure.
become, the more you're going to be a magnet for trolls. There's a Twitch streamer I follow. She is absolutely darling. I think she's going to be at Guardian Con, and I hope I get to meet her. She goes by the Tiddlywinks. Her name is Tiddly. Yeah, Tiddly. Oh yeah, she's incredibly cute. And when she gets a troll, she has a drop in that she plays. Go everybody, and then party music starts playing because we got a troll. Now we have to decide: are we going to spurn the troll or are we going to adopt the troll?
Right. Oh,
And
nice.
she literally flips it, and the guy says, "Oh, you dumb," and he'll drop the C word. Well, then she bumps him. Well, the troll starts poking, then chat gets involved, and then whenever this troll returns to her feed, she goes, "Look, everybody, our troll's back!" And then it's like, "Hi, everybody," and he or she becomes part of the group.
well, and so I think that it depends a lot on what kind of content you're
Sure.
trying to
Yeah.
produce.
Yeah.
Because if it's a more general chat show and it's not too much of a distraction, it's almost part of what you're going for, that there's this open conversation happening, then something like that could be more effective.
Could be more
Whereas when I'm running a Dungeons and Dragons game, I don't want things to be breaking the immersion.
Right.
Right.
So, like, I do not engage, just Ban.
There's also
Man.
there's also another option too. Like I said, the larger you become as a streaming entity, the more of a magnet you are for trolls. Case in point, Bungie. I play Destiny, it's designed by Bungie. Bungie will occasionally do streams, more so than their podcast, and that's a different rabbit hole that I refuse to go down right now. But when Bungie streams, they can easily get anywhere from 100 to 200 to 300,000 people watching live. Yeah,
easy.
I have to disable chat because chat's just flying by. But the thing I notice is that you get these people that pop in and they say, dead game. It's a dead game. This is a shit game. It's a crap game.
Right.
And of course, people in chat engage back and go, well, then why are you here? Bungie doesn't see it because there is a setting where they say subscribers only will be able to chat directly with us. And yes, some trolls will pay $5 to say this is a dead game.
Yeah.
A fool in their money. What are you going to do?
Thanks for the
But-
$5.
Exactly. Bungie's like, okay. But there are times where the chat is just going by so fast and so furious. You disable it.
Yeah.
You just go ahead and disable it. But there are but as trolls go, I've had to deal with a couple. But for every one troll I've encountered, I can tell you this: in this community, there's at least 10 or 20 people that I've made friends with. Some of them I'm going to see in July at Guardian Con. I mean, I've been so the community on Twitch reminds me so much of the community. And I know I've said this to you before, of the community of podcasters back in 2005 and 2006. It's got that raw, we're looking out for each other kind of feeling.
We're all in this together, right?
And I dig that.
I think that feeling of camaraderie can occur wherever you're able to like build a sense of community around something, but it almost can really only last within a certain size, and then it starts.
Yeah.
But like,
Fracture.
you know, one of the things, obviously, if we're talking about trolls, like it's hard to quantify exactly the effect, but I would suspect that I'm more likely to get some trolls than perhaps these guys are, just by. But even that said, it's also
you're a
going to.
redhead?
Yeah, obviously.
That's obvious.
One of the other. Also, the bigger your channel gets, the more people are finding it for whatever reason, because I think it's also, when you're looking up and you're discovering a stream that way, it'll also say how many other people are watching, right? And so people will often gravitate to the ones that have a lot of people watching.
But they need their attention, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Are you paying $5 to watch you guys?
No. So we'll
should we
probably
go-
talk about subscribing,
go
but
into
just
the whole
to finish
subscription
the
model thing now, or-
just to finish the
Yeah.
one thought though, in terms of how often it happens. For me, I don't have a huge audience, but what I get is someone comes in to make trouble every couple of weeks. So it's not a constant thing, but it is enough that you have to have a plan for it.
Are you satisfied with the tools that the streaming services provide you to deal with it?
So far, but at the same time, if I started getting it an order of magnitude more,
Right.
that would start to become difficult.
Yeah. So here comes the questions: how do you make money doing this kind of thing? I'm going to tell you that I don't have a big opinion on this because I can't seem to make any money off of it. But I haven't really tried that hard either. I mean, this is it's a passion project for me. When we're doing the YouTube live, they have ads and stuff, and I was kind of like, we don't really have like a ton of people. I might make some money, but it's worth it to me to not subject my fans to ads, right? I'd rather them just be able to watch a show, right? Because I don't need it. I barely pay for it. There's very little that I pay for. I've done so much of this for free. Like the software I use, the streaming software I use, free. The YouTube Live's free, right? So all the stuff that I do is free. It's just it's my time. That time is money, but this is my hobby. This is what I like to do. So I was just like, I'm not going to make much money off of it, and YouTube would take a big chunk of it anyway if I did, and so I don't really try to make money off of it. Facebook Live doesn't really seem to have a monetizing thing.
No, unless afterwards, people want to see it.
Right, and then but what you can do is you can get sponsorships.
Yeah.
And I don't think we quite have the numbers yet. We're getting there. think we're getting there. I don't know if we have the numbers yet to like start getting people to like product placement and stuff like that. Mike, what's up?
I just wanted to speak on the fact that, building your audience is one of the most important things, and depending upon what you're streaming should have an impact on which
Yes.
platform you're gonna use. For us, Facebook Live has been the best. Twitch, everyone's there looking, they wanna see someone do something.
Yeah.
They're not there to watch an
People
interview,
talk.
and that's more like what we do.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything really, so
Right.
I don't think that's why Twitch
But
was on.
it doesn't matter which platform you're on, the interaction is the most important. Since we've been interacting more with our people, and sometimes when Pete and I are doing the show, he will be interacting more with the guests. Sometimes I'm spending more time, if it's busy in the chat room, I am interacting more, and I am putting little likes next to people's names, I'm pointing something. If I see someone new, I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Nobody loves anything more than to be acknowledged somehow on a
Yeah,
stream.
I've gotten more follows just
Yeah.
because I say, oh, hey, thanks for joining me in the chat. Things like that.
Yeah.
Now, you were asking earlier about subscribing, about paying $5.
Just because it came up in the thing. but-
Yeah, it does. So that is one way that Twitch streamers make money. There are different tiers you can hit. One is affiliate, where I get, I think, like 25% of whatever subscriptions, however many I amass, then I get 25% of that money. The rest goes to Twitch. If I meet all the requirements, I can then advance to partner, and partner means we split it 50-50. Right now, this is just a fun side hustle for me. It's a hobby as well. But if you follow my stream, just click the heart, boom, and you're following. That's fine. No big deal. When you subscribe, though, the way Twitch gives us this incentives, they go, well, if you subscribe, you get an emote. Now, what's an emote, you ask? Well, an emote are these individual little cartoon images or little GIFs that you can drop in as a cheer or as a good game or something like that. GG is what you'll hear people say. I have presently 2 emotes. The first emote for $4.99 is a GG for good game. And this may not shock anybody that knows me. My GGs are 2 interlocking gears because I'm running a steampunk theme on my channel. If you subscribe for $10 a month, $9.99, you get the GG emote, and then you get a thumbs up emote from me, which is a character. It's actually a chibi. It's a chibi? Yeah, a chibi caricature of me with a derby, with goggles on the forehead, and I'm doing this. And I dropped that, and the thing is, since it's my channel, I drop it in other people's streams. And I drop it along with their emotes as well. And I actually had a couple of streamers that I follow say, these are your emotes, T? These are great. And so they dig it, and that's...
So what's the metric? How does it work?
And how it works is, you would subscribe to my channel,
Right.
and automatically Twitch gives you clearance to use my emote.
So what do I do with I push a button and it does the emote?
Yeah. Kinda
So
like that.
like the principle behind subscribing is like Patreon. It is
Right.
not necessarily that you are getting something worth $5 as much
Right.
as
I want to
you
support
enjoy
it.
this stream,
Yeah.
you want to support, and
Yeah.
and that's really what it's more. But correct me if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that what subscribing to a channel also gives you is access to the video archive, which
that's
is
true,
like
yeah,
which
that's-
videos are saved that
Yeah.
you could watch later,
Right.
To me,
as
that's
opposed
the
to
best part of it.
right.
And that's, and
So,
that,
but the emote thing, I've never kind of gotten it. To me, it's a really annoying feature.
Well,
For,
And,
for
like,
certain
this is
people.
really
for some people, it's really
terrible.
annoying.
Like,
For other people, they
Yeah.
love it. And
Yeah,
and
right.
there are people that literally subscribe just to collect emotes from other people.
So I give you the $5, and
Right.
then I'm you're doing your stream. I push a button that says throw my emote out. Can I
Yeah,
do
it
that?
basically says, you get a drop menu, and you'll
Right.
see my GG.
Yeah.
And if I say something like, come on, chat, let me get some GGs in
Right.
chat. You can either type in GG,
Right.
or you can use my emote,
Right.
or you can use an emote from somebody
So
else's
I
stream.
can I do it 100 times in a row?
If
or
you
do I get it
wanted to,
once, or-
and if I ask you to,
Okay.
and sometimes I'll ask you to spam emotes in chat.
Ah.
Now, yes,
Okay. I got it.
trolls can collect emotes,
Right.
then go to other people and then just start spamming emotes for no reason.
Right.
That's when the moderator would come in and go, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
But if the host actively says spam some emotes, spam, and
Okay.
again, a good example. I was watching this one streamer. His name is ZG Photo, and someone just dropped in a GG too. Thank you. You're digging this.
So meta.
So, I know, isn't it great? but
I'm
if,
moderating all your chat. It's all good. Can't help
but if like for example, this guy ZG Photo,
Right.
he heard about my dad's death, and I was visiting his stream, and he said, "Guys, tease in the stream, give up some hearts, spam hearts in chat right now." And I'm telling you, I was in a really low place, and suddenly the chat room just starts filling up with hearts, and I'm just like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
It's a community engagement tool,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
like you go to a baseball
You
game,
don't-
you buy the little
right.
pennant, like,
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Yeah, you're
You
buying
don't
it.
have to use the emotes.
Yeah.
I appreciate you subscribing.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. You're right.
That is a good
Because a
example.
pennant's a piece of crap. It's nothing. Right? I mean, no.
It's just a
I'm
little
not trying
flag,
to- I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
trying
it's
to
a bunch of
demean
felt,
it, but there's
right.
nothing to do with it. But then they go GG,
Yeah.
GG. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, I get it now. I didn't
And,
get it. I
and
get
the
it.
thing is, everybody's GG is different.
Yeah.
If you see two interlocking gears, you know that's T.
Right.
If you see a frog head with a GG underneath it, well, that's J Sniper.
Yeah.
And if you see a caricature of my buddy with his fist up and it says GG at the bottom, that's Dan Infinity.
yeah, you do
So,
have to
you know.
make your own though. They're not just like, no
Oh,
one
but it's
designed
big
it.
business.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
big business.
But I just mean, it's not like Twitch makes them for you.
No.
It's,
Right,
yeah.
right. So I've heard some of it, and they have the accompanying sound. Is that also like part of it?
I think probably it would be stream dependent on whether they want anyone in the chat to be able to make a noise.
Right.
Because I know that I sure wouldn't want anyone
Yeah,
in
do
chat
they-
to
do they have to be
make noise
approved
because
by
it's
Twitch?
distracting. What, the emotes?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yes.
because I actually
They have to be,
haven't-
right? Because
Emotes.
you know where it's going, right?
yeah.
Yeah, people doing some really nasty.
Yeah.
So-
I would guess that they do.
They have to.
But it's probably, I would suspect that it is a passive thing though, where it's like everything's approved until it's reported.
Right.
Rather, as opposed to must be approved before it could be used. That would be my guess, but I
Yeah,
don't know
the
for sure.
gentleman in the back had a question.
Yeah. A couple of questions. First, GG.
Good game.
Ah.
Good game.
The
G
other-
effing G. Well, that's good. That's good. Fine game. Anyway,
Gotcha. The other question, you mentioned something about the numbers to get sponsorships. What are the kind of numbers
Wow.
that people are talking about in terms of what is it that would tell you like, yeah, this is more than just your personal friends, and you know, kind of how the levels shoot up?
Twitch gives you a number of analytical tools to show you things like what point in your stream was there the maximum number of people watching? How does that compare to your last stream? How engaged were people in the chat? Things like that. It does give you those tools. And as far as, you know, becoming an affiliate and then becoming a partner,
They have different landmarks.
they have several different categories of thing, and it's basically you have to reach a threshold in several of those. And it's things like number of viewers, how often you stream. Like, for example, if someone has tons of viewers, but they only do a stream once every 3 weeks for half an hour, they're probably not going to get, you know.
But if they have like 1 million videos and they only
Right.
have so many views, that's still not good. Even if it's
Right.
a lot
Right.
of views, it's a small percentage of the view of the stuff.
Yeah,
that
so
they
it's a
get.
combination of factors. Like I only just recently got that affiliate threshold.
Oh, nice,
And,
okay.
you know, I kind of joked earlier, oh, thank you. I kind of joked earlier that about, you know, making money. And what I would definitely say is no one should start doing this to make
Oh
money.
my God.
Because
God no.
essentially what everybody sees is the big success stories, which is the 0.01%
Yeah.
of streamers that make a lot of money. And then there's maybe a 10% that make a little money, and then there's the 90% who don't make anything.
Make negative
And
money.
yeah, and so like for me, in principle, people can subscribe and they can do these little cheers. Yeah, there was these one-time things where it's like giving a little tip, like, oh,
Well,
I like this
They
particular.
have a tip jar, don't they? Can't you like give like a
Yeah.
dollar,
Well,
a couple bucks?
you can
I
do a tip
honestly
jar.
haven't really looked into it that much,
That's
but
third party.
so
Yeah.
there are a couple of things like that like, so in theory, the mechanism that would allow me to make money from my channel is active, but I don't actually have enough people for it to reach the threshold of Twitch mailing me a check.
Still the only one who ever cheered.
Yeah, so far.
And honestly, that's to me, that is one of the things I'm looking forward to writing about in Twitch for Dummies, is talking about this very subject. If you're going into streaming, whether it's on YouTube, Live, Twitch, or otherwise, Mixer, which is the new one,
Yeah,
the
Mixer,
new
yeah.
kid on the block. If you're going in specifically to make it into a money-making venture, that's like going to podcasting as a money-making venture. And there is a trap. There is a trap. I am mentally preparing myself for when I make, when I tell people, yeah, I'm writing for Twitch for Dummies, they're going to look at me and like, well, who are you to write Twitch for Dummies? You're not Dr. Lupo, you're not Ninja, and I would look at them and go, no, I'm not, because those guys are still streaming as we're sitting here talking about you questioning my credentials.
Right.
Secondly, if they stop streaming to write a book about getting started in Twitch, they're not making money.
And they'll be, if they lose their momentum, they'll be done.
Yes, that is the trap, I think, of some of the success stories that nobody talks about. These people are streaming 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, and I admire that tenacity. I admire that tenacity like nobody's business.
It's a full-time job.
But that's their
It's
job.
2 full-time jobs, and they're,
I'm
you
sorry,
know,
you just used the full-time job.
it's and they're on all the time. They are I admire what they're doing, but you can't keep that kind of schedule up. I'm an old man. I streamed for 8 hours, and the next day I felt hungover.
So as part
here we
of
go.
Extra Life,
I love that.
Extra Life is, well, just my own sort of exposure to what that would be like. Extra Life is a charity thing that happens every year, and the idea is that people game, and it's primarily video game themed, but the idea is people game for 24 hours for charity, and you get pledges and people support and all of that sort of thing. And so I've done it a couple of years.
It's like a nerdathon.
Yeah, and so 2 years ago, I streamed video games for 24 hours, and frankly, it was not a super pleasant experience by the end. And I don't mean because of trolls, I just mean because it's at 3 a.m. and nobody's watching right now, and I'm like,
But you're still going.
no, yeah, I'm still here. What I did for the most recent year is I judiciously choose to do 2 12-hour blocks instead of 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
And so I said I was going to do 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 2 days straight. And what I did is run 24 hours of Dungeons and Dragons.
There you go.
Where it was one continuous campaign over that time, and I ran people through the Tomb of Annihilation module. That was a lot of fun, but it was still like, that was my whole weekend.
But you do bring up something that the gentleman had to leave, and I'm sorry he didn't hear this bit. One of the other things about Twitch that I find phenomenal, and I'm hoping Mixer and YouTube Live, and we'll start catching on to this, and Facebook Live, is the notion of charity streams. Last year, for example, Guardian Con they set out to break their they had raised. The previous year, they had raised $500,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And Guardian Con said, you know what, we want to do a charity stream, and we want to raise money to do it again, but we want to break that. We want to break that $500,000 mark, so let's see what we could do. And last year, Guardian Con raised over $1 million, over $1 million on frickin' Twitch for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And I just thought that was the coolest thing.
You know what we need to do, T? We need to do a Mythwitch show. We have all our guests come back, and we need to do like a 12-hour, 24-hour stream.
I would drop everything.
Guests would drop. We could have guests drop in and out.
The first time I did this, and I was really stoked. My this mutual friend of ours, this guy named Evil Aura, and that's with a 3 VIL underscore capital A URA. Evil Aura. He's big on pit bull rescue.
Oh.
And if you've ever seen the show Pit Bulls and Parolees, Villalobos Rescue Center,
Right.
he does a charity stream every year called Gaming for Pits. And I'd never done this before, and I said, dude, I want to be a part of this. Let me be a part of this. And he was like, okay, do this, and you're in. I said, okay. So I'm streaming, and I've never done this before, and I raised over $100. And I'm streaming at that time 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and I'm just like, holy crap, people are giving me money, yay! And then He said, I set out to raise, I think he said he set out to raise 100, no, not 100, 10,000. He set out to raise $10,000 for Villa Lobos. That would have taken care of at least a month's worth of vaccinations, food, and so forth. He raised over $25,000.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, this wasn't even my charity, and I was over the moon because I'm like, I helped make that happen.
Nice.
Well-
And it's a great feeling.
That is, I think, emblematic of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, which is like podcasting, streaming creates a community.
It does.
And it's often, small, but it can be intense. And obviously, sometimes it gets big and it's still intense.
Yeah.
But it creates this shared experience where, when I'm streaming in my games, obviously it's me and the players that are actually engaged. But then when we have regular viewers and we recognize screen names and it's like, oh hey, look, it's Mother Dragon in the chat.
Yeah.
And it
Rev3
becomes
dude. There you go.
this community
Yeah.
experience, and
There you go.
it's really something. There's an intimacy to it, and I think that's really something. Also, I'm just gonna say hi. There's been people actually chatting in my stream, so I was like, hi.
Do you know what's
Waved all the chats. Hey, hey.
Do you know what's interesting?
GG's, everybody. GF and G's.
Hi.
You know what's interesting is that much like role playing, which I always, whenever I describe to anyone who's never done it before, they ask about it, I say it's collaborative storytelling.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's you and however many other people telling a story together, right? This is collaborative programming. When you have an audience, that you
Collaborative
interact with.
entertainment.
It's collaborative entertainment.
Yeah.
You're doing a show. They're part of the show. They're not on the camera, but they're part of the show because they contribute to it. At least if you interact with them.
Right.
So we
That's
try to
the
interact
key.
with ours.
Talk to your audience.
Right.
Talk to your
Or
audience.
don't worry about your audience. If you're not going to talk to them, don't have an audience, I guess. I don't know.
No, you can.
But you can't.
You can.
Right.
No, I was gonna say, because Christiana, your fan, Miranda's in the room. She loves you. You are streaming right now, and her biggest question is, when am I gonna be able to see her again? Now, hold on. To that end, I will say, it's a really good thing and a good idea to involve some people that are that highly motivated, involve them into your show.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're gonna make them a moderator, or you're going to
Call them your number one fan.
call them your number one fan.
So, speaking of which, the stream must end. Let's wrap it up.
Okay. What am I doing? I'm wrapping up.
Wrapping up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. So
closing remarks.
I have found, as previously described, I'm not making any money from it. But what I am finding is that I'm playing this game of Dungeons and Dragons online, and I enjoy that game, and I have the means to include even more people, and it's something that can be shared, and it builds community, and it's fun, and that's why I do it, not because I'm trying to make any kind of a business about it, but I love it for that reason, that it's just this thing that allows me to share something I enjoy with more people. I think it's great. And so as far as wrap up, find my website, christianaellis.com, my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/christianaellis, but everything's under my name, so if you Google my name, you'll find everything.
Same thing, if you want to watch me play video games and yuck it up with knuckleheads like that guy right there who sometimes shows up. We also sometimes will do a recap of our Destiny podcast, Happy Hour from the Tower. My schedule is posted on my Twitch page, so you can go to twitch.tv/the T Monster. And you can also get updates on when I'm going live if you follow me. You can also keep in touch with me on Twitter @TMonster. And I basically play video games that I enjoy and that hopefully you'll enjoy watching me play.
Sometimes don't enjoy it, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, oh no. There have been, that has happened too, and I turned that into a comedy routine as well. Hope to see you on my channel. Thanks, and keep an eye out for Twitch for Dummies coming soon.
I'm Peter Bryant. I do the Mythwits with my buddy Mike here. We do Monday nights on Facebook Live, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every week, every Monday night. Even we're taking a break this June, and shows like this that we've recorded live here will take the place of that Monday night. We have a live chat room. Come in, talk to our guests, ask questions all you want. We interact with our audience a lot. You can find everything about us at mythwits.com. And we're on Twitter, Facebook, that's where our show goes live, YouTube, Instagram, all Mythwits, MYTHWITS. And that's our show. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Wow, talk about a stream that you pull off the bottom of your pants.